She said, she'll take me anywhere, she'll take me anywhere, as long as she stays with me. She said, she'll take me anywhere, she'll take me anywhere, as long as I stay queen. Yes, yes, Molly's lips. Yes, yes, Molly's lips. Yes, yes, Molly's lips. Yes, yes, Molly's lips. Hey, me and Matt here. And yes, another pre-recorded show. And review rather. And yes, this was a good show too. And have obviously Great American Bash is coming up on July 12th. It's a few weeks away. So I thought, alright, let's do a review. And I've been meaning to talk about this for a while, and it's one of those things where it's like there's gonna be some interesting comments here. Anyways, yeah, let's get to it. The pre-show Sunday Night Heat had Spike Dudley defeating Jamie Noble, which I'm pretty sure was a good match. Look at Spike Dudley in his career in ECW, WWE, and of course TNA as well. It was very cool. Not a very tall guy, but man, can he move. Obviously, you look at Jamie Noble, James Gibson, his time in Ring of Honor. Now he's an agent. Still comes into the show. Actually came in to caress R-Truth's face on Raw for some reason. No, SmackDown. And anyways. But yeah, I'm sure this was good. With the Fatal 4-Way for the United States title. You've got the champion, John Cena, who took on Booker T, Rene Dupree, and Rob Van Dam. And this was a good match. I mean, when you look at these guys, obviously Rob Van Dam and Booker T would be the tag team champions. Yeah, this was June 27th. So yeah, they would have lost the tag team titles for Raw and made their way to SmackDown, I guess. But anyways, they had the match. This was pretty cool. And actually, you have Rob Van Dam eliminated in a roll-up by John Cena. Rene, who got pinned by Booker T after John Cena gave him an attitude adjustment. And yeah, basically John Cena and Booker T went at it, which I thought was pretty cool. And I don't know if they really had a good feud, but seeing those two in the ring was pretty awesome. And yeah, John basically pinned Booker to retain the title. And yeah. You have Luther Reigns, who defeated Charles Haas. This is pretty good too. I mean, Luther basically took over the match, and obviously he was teamed with Kurt Angle, who was in a wheelchair at the time because he had gotten injured. So they played up that storyline, and I don't believe he was the general manager at this point. For Charlie Haas was was Jackie Dina. Can't remember who that was. But yeah, so Kurt basically egged Charlie on, which got Luther the win. And yeah, there. Cruiserweight title, Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero. And yeah, these two guys dating back to WCW and having good matches there. These two guys put on a very good match here. This high flying and all this cool stuff. And basically, yeah, there was a point where Chavo put on this single Boston Crab, I guess. And that looked like it hurt, but ultimately Ray retained the title. And I'm not quite sure how long he had it for. I mean, I know that it was a while because he did beat Matt Hardy for it. With Hiroko, who defeated Billy Gunn. This was awesome too. And looking at Billy Gunn now, you see Billy Gunn in AEW, yeah, he looks jacked still, and all this stuff, and looking at him here, and it's like, holy shit, this guy was very agile. He still could move very well. He was obviously younger, but Kenzo, as much of a joke gimmick as he was for some reason, he was a really good wrestler as well. And in fact, picked up the win, beating Billy Gunn. And one thing I didn't understand is why he never got a title, like at least put the US title on him. He probably did have it. I'm not quite sure. I know he did have the tag team titles with Rene Dupree, but you know, there's Troy Wilson versus Sable, and I mean, this match was what it was. Look, no disrespect to Tori Wilson, she wasn't a very good wrestler. I know she could wrestle, but she wasn't that good. Sable had a little bit more of an experience, but at the time, she was Vince McMahon's mistress, I guess, so yeah, Sable ended up rolling it up for the win. So, I mean, guy who defeated Hardcore Holly. Again, here's a guy that comes in and the vignettes were very cool. He was kind of like an Undertaker type character. He was dressed in white. He had the white hair, the white eyebrows. And he came in and he wasn't on SmackDown for very long. It was a month or so. But seeing him beat Hardcore Holly here, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess, but yeah, he eventually left and then came back to the ECW brand as Kevin Thorne. I thought that was pretty cool because he went from wearing white to just black, you know, black hair, black goatee, black clothes, and he became like a vampire character. But why Mordecai didn't work and why he didn't have a feud with The Undertaker is beyond me, because he basically beat somebody here. Access Bull Rope match for the WWE title, and holy shit. Because, I mean, you have JBL, who had Eddie Guerrero, and Eddie was the WWE champion, winning at WrestleMania, beating Kurt Angle, and this was awesome. You know, and before that, winning the WWE title, I should say, from Brock Lesnar at No Way Out, which at the time was unheard of. A smaller guy beating a larger wrestler. Now, I could be wrong, but that was cool. And so this match was awesome. The Texas Bull Rope match was always cool. And you know, you have John basically get busted open, you know, and he tried to get Eddie bested. And I thought this was the pay-per-view where Eddie bladed and had cut a vein or something, and just was a Crimson Mask, but that wasn't the match. This was the match where John was the one that wore the Crimson Mask, and I honestly don't know how this happened. I mean, yeah, Kurt Angle was the general manager because we thought that Eddie won, but Kurt came out and said he cheated or something, which doesn't make any sense because this doesn't look like this was a no disqualification match or something, whatever. Well, anyways, he ended up giving the match to John Bradshaw Layfield, but Eddie retained the title still. So, yeah. About this pay-per-view. So you have Undertaker versus the Dudley Boys, and in their corner is Paul Heyman, the handicap concrete grip match. And I mean, for some reason, you have the Dudley Boys and Paul Heyman kidnap Paul Bearer. And so they take Paul, they put him in this glass box. And you know, you have the thing that pours out the concrete. So you have Paul Heyman near the truck, and basically Undertaker is their bitch for some reason. And Paul keeps threatening to pour the concrete, and basically, whatever. Undertaker ends up winning anyways. But it was a bunch of bullshit. Like, come on. I don't know why this feud happened. It sucks then, and it sucks now. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like, seriously, why did they come up? Like, I know there's history with Paul Heyman and Mark Calloway dating back to WCW, and I know that there's ECW connection with the Dudleys and Paul, but anyways, yeah, Undertaker ended up winning. So he gets up the ramp. We got Paul, who's basically on his back, walking backwards, and Undertaker goes up to the lever and he pulls it. And what was cool about this, behind the scenes, they shot some of it during the day because they obviously had a stunt double and Bill Mooney didn't actually get buried in cement. But, yeah, I think this was because Bill had to go home and lose some weight, and he was in poor health anyways. But, just the storyline was shit. This was terrible. So this was in Norfolk, Virginia, the Norfolk Scope. And not that I needed to say that, but this was a good show. And I mean, 2004 was an iffy year for the WWE. Like, it wasn't, in my opinion, terrible. It also wasn't great either. And with this show, there was only that match that the main event was just dumb. the Texas Bowl match was very cool. I enjoyed that, obviously, but looking back, it was kind of like, man, you know, a lot of these guys were a lot younger and more agile, you know. Not that that means anything, but you look at Undertaker, for example, and man, could he still go? But anyways, that's a good show, and yeah, talk to you later. Bye.
Howdy. So you know that them cutting WCW was a long time coming. I don't think that's the case at all. Because you look at some of his earlier interviews, like